Hey folks, let's learn something new about the oil and gas industry. All right, we have Jeff Chambers on. Good morning, Jeff.
Morning, Mark. How are you?
Awesome. And Jeff and I just cannot get in the same city at the same time, so we're shooting this via Skype. But Jeff, you have a fascinating story. You know, this industry as a whole, especially in upstream, has always been data-centric, even back in the days when all this stuff was done on paper. And then as we went through time, you had technology come in to help track a lot of this stuff. And your company is almost like the next evolution in that. Let's talk a little about your company, Upstream DB. What do y'all do?
Yeah, so basically, exactly what you said. We aggregate a lot of information in the upstream oil and gas industry, everything from drilling permits to well spot locations, header information, production, who's operating it, and even in some cases, the sales data at the wellhead. And so, one of the things that we learned several years ago was that this information is all over the place, it's scattered and it's messy, and there was a real opportunity to kind of come in, do a better job of cleaning it up, and really put it on, not to be too cheesy, but a beautiful interface.
Right.
I think that the presentation of the data matters, and making it simple and easy and intuitive is really important, because learning a new tool is hard. And so the context switching from the tool you used to use to what we have, we wanted to make that a low barrier to entry.
Yeah, and so I don't think it's cheesy. I've seen your user interface. The thing I think is beautiful about it is it's intuitive. Literally, even I'm not a geoscience guy, right? But literally in a few minutes, got it. I understood where everything was. It was easy to maneuver. And that's a big deal, especially we have a lot of these younger generations starting to enter the oil and gas industry for their first time, and they're going to want and expect that. And your interface actually is going to be a quicker time to productivity for your company's employees, because they're not going to have to learn something that's hard to figure out.
Correct. We don't do any training. We would if somebody asked and reached out, but fortunately so far we haven't even really had any requests. But this younger group that's coming out of college, they grew up in a different world, even more different than you and I. The Gen Xers, they kind of came out of the womb essentially with a computer in their hand, so to speak. And so when they go to the workforce and see that things are still done in Excel, they kind of scratch their heads and say, "Man, there's got to be a better way." And so, we're really hoping to kind of hit that demographic as they get into the industry.
Yeah, even Jeff, I've been in this industry 20 years. Even I go, "Why are we still doing stuff in Excel?" It is ridiculous. I mean, I have seen like 70 tab Excel spreadsheets out there. And it's the culture of the industry, but even I have to laugh at it. So you'll have a lot of this upstream data that y'all have gathered from a bunch of places. And historically, people used a bunch of tools to do this. Sometimes even the fact of sending somebody out to some courthouse somewhere and looking at paper. And so you bring it all in one place. You have a beautiful, intuitive interface. But the other thing that you do, I think, is really cool, is your business model is different. There's other companies out there doing this sort of similar, but they charge way more money than you do.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we learned early on, is that there was a real opportunity to service what I would call the smaller guys in the space. Other options out there started off as that, and they've kind of grown over time and priced a lot of their customers out. And so we felt like there was a real opportunity to step in, provide a really quality service at a price that people could afford, and we were able to slice up the information in ways that we could make it affordable even down to a county level.
Yeah, and the thing I think is neat is you're now allowing smaller companies to compete with much bigger companies because they have access to the exact same information.
Correct. Yeah. If we all have a level playing field in terms of the information and data we use, then I feel like that hopefully levels up those smaller companies that were kind of priced out of being able to compete.
Yeah, and it's cool because we've talked about this on past shows. We're seeing, as a research company, we've seen technology being adopted by the oil and gas industry faster than ever in the last 20 years. And you're part of that wave, right? You're bringing new technology that's beneficial, that solves real business problems to the industry, but you're not targeting the mega super majors and everything. You're targeting a lot of the smaller companies, which honestly are the large majority of the oil and gas business here in the U.S.
Yeah, correct. We're really going after, the smaller independents, the, independent consultants. That's the group of people that I feel has been kind of left behind, if you will.
Yeah, and the other thing I like about you is y'all have a personal touch. I mean, I don't know you. You and I connected. You showed me the tool. You talked me through a bunch of stuff. It's nice to have a real person on the other end of that conversation instead of trying to be reading some FAQ page on a website somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the other thing is we're really kind of over the top in terms of customer service and kind of who we are as a business. We're very responsive. And we've had a lot of customers that get on and, maybe our tool from the beginning didn't do exactly what they wanted, but they reached out and said, hey, Jeff, is there a way that you guys can do X for us? And, usually inside of that day, if not the next day, if we can do it, we'll have it done and out the door. And it blows their mind because they're not used to that level of service in this industry.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Jeff, if people wanted to learn more about what you do, where should they go?
They can go to the website, www.upstreamdb.com.
Yeah, and folks, we'll put a link in the show notes so you don't have to be writing anything down.
Sure.
Jeff, man, great story. Love what you're doing. I know you can be highly successful. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Marks. I hope to see you at NAPE.
You will see me at NAPE. You know you will.
Good.
I can't get out of there anymore. So,
Awesome.
folks, I hope this helped. We will see you next time.